The Epic of Gilgamesh is one of the great works of literature and one of the oldest. It was first composed in ancient Mesopotamia during the early 2nd millennium BC in the Akkadian language, and an excellent translation is given by Andrew George, Penguin Classics, 1999. The narrative is divided into 11 books comprising about 3,000 lines in total. The Epic of Gilgamesh is an epic poem and is considered the oldest known literary work in the world. The poem tells a series of Sumerian myths written in cuneiform script. It narrates in a poetic manner the story of the legendary Sumerian hero named Gilgamesh, the king of Uruk, and his adventures. This story was one of the most beloved tales in ancient Mesopotamia. The importance of the Epic of Gilgamesh lies in its transmission of many important themes that help us understand the civilizations of Mesopotamia, such as friendship, the role of kingship, enmity, their ideas about immortality and death, and the relationships between men and women. It also explores the contrast between city life and rural life, as well as civilization and wilderness. The epic was originally inscribed on 12 clay tablets dating back approximately 1,500 years before the writing of Homer's Iliad. The tablets containing the text were discovered in 1853 in the ruins of the Library of Ashurbanipal in Nineveh. They were uncovered by the Assyriologist Hormuzd-Rassam. The story has been retold in numerous fictional works, including novels and films. Gilgamesh was a young, handsome, and athletic king who ruled the city of Uruk. His mother was the goddess Ninsun, and his father was the priest-king Lugobanda. This made Gilgamesh half-god. Gilgamesh was vigorous and lively, but he was also harsh and arrogant. He challenged all the other young men in physical contests and fights and defeated them. Gilgamesh declared his right to have sexual relations with all the newlywed brides in the city before their husbands, which disturbed the citizens of Uruk. They cried out to the great sky god Anu to deliver them from their corrupt young king. The god sent a wild man named Enkidu to challenge Gilgamesh. At first, Enkidu lived in the rural wilderness among the animals, and he resembled them in his behavior, eating and living like them. However, the hunters who went to hunt in the wilderness grew tired of Enkidu because he released the animals they were hunting. They complained to Gilgamesh, who suggested sending the temple prostitute Shamhat to seduce Enkidu and teach him how to eat and live like a human and become civilized. After Enkidu became civilized, he went to Uruk to confront Gilgamesh and challenge him. They engaged in a long battle, but Gilgamesh emerged victorious. However, Gilgamesh felt admiration for Enkidu's bravery, as he was the only person who dared to challenge him, and they became best friends. Gilgamesh was obsessed with challenges and adventures, so he decided to go on adventures with Enkidu. They embarked together on a journey to challenge the monster Humbaba, whom the gods had placed above the cedar forest, preventing anyone from crossing it. During their journey, Gilgamesh had nightmares every time he slept, but Enkidu reassured him. In the end, the adventurers reached the monster and fought it until Gilgamesh killed it and cut off its head. They took the head with them to return to Uruk. The gods felt anger toward Gilgamesh, except for the goddess Ishtar, who loved Gilgamesh and descended to meet him. She tried to seduce him and marry him, but he refused. She felt angry and asked the god Enlil to seek revenge. He sent the sacred bull of heaven to attack Gilgamesh and Enkidu, but they managed to kill the bull. Enkidu then took one of the bull's legs and threw it at Ishtar, which angered all the gods even more. They decided to punish Gilgamesh and Enkidu. Since they couldn't kill Gilgamesh, Ishtar cursed Enkidu, who fell severely ill. Gilgamesh stayed by his side but couldn't help him, and Enkidu suffered in pain until he died 12 days later. Gilgamesh gathered all the people of the village and held a grand funeral for his friend. The death of Enkidu deeply affected Gilgamesh and made him think that he would inevitably die like his friend one day, but he didn't want that. Therefore, he decided to search for the secret of immortality. Gilgamesh went in search of Utnapishtim, the immortal man who survived the Great Flood. During his journey, other gods appeared to him, including Siduri, who told him that he wouldn't find what he was looking for. However, Gilgamesh insisted on continuing his quest, so Siduri decided to help him reach his goal. Finally, Gilgamesh found Utnapishtim after a journey full of adventures. Utnapishtim told Gilgamesh the story of the flood and how he and his wife were the only ones who managed to survive. The gods granted only him and his wife the secret of eternal life. He advised Gilgamesh to accept his death because no ordinary person could become immortal, but Gilgamesh insisted on knowing the secret of immortality. So Utnapishtim agreed to help him, on the condition that he accepted some challenges. The first challenge for Gilgamesh was to stay awake for 7 days. Gilgamesh immediately accepted the challenge but fell asleep as soon as he sat down near a rock. Gilgamesh returned to Utnapishtim, asking for his help again, but he refused. However, Utnapishtim's wife felt sympathy for Gilgamesh and decided to tell him the secret of immortality, which was a plant located in the depths of the sea in the land of Dilmun. This plant would restore youth to whoever consumed it. Gilgamesh went to the Sea of Immortality, jumped in, and indeed obtained the plant. He emerged from the sea full of joy. On his way back, he found a river and decided to bathe in it, leaving his belongings on the shore. Meanwhile, a serpent came and took the plant, then slithered away. Gilgamesh felt frustrated once again because he had lost the secret of immortality. While returning to Uruk, he pondered the purpose of it all. If he had obtained eternal life, he would still lose everyone he loved, leaving no one by his side. Gilgamesh realized that he could attain immortality in another way. By building a great monument like the big wall of his city, his deeds and legacy would live on. Finally, Gilgamesh became a good king in Uruk, using the strength that he had previously used against his people to help them. The people loved him dearly, and his legend remained immortal among them. Gilgamesh ruled for 126 years according to the Sumerian king list, and the epic ends with his death. I hope you enjoyed the story. Please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next story.